Well, I'm back once again, and I hope everybody's doing well. I had to go live today for a couple of reasons. I tried to with my brother Freemasonry Unlock, but we had some technical difficulties earlier, so we could not really get it together. So I did tell him that if I didn't hear from him, if he didn't give me a call, I was going to eventually end up going live. So tonight I'm going live, and this conversation for this evening. We're going to be talking about the various Masonic congresses, as in the General Grand Masonic Congress, or the Congress of Grand Lodges, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be talking about that body, that body. If you are a part of the Black Ancient Free and Accepted Masons, more than likely you are your Grand Lodge. Your Grand Lodge is a part of the General Grand Masonic Congress, or Congress of Grand Lodges. What's up, Brother Calvin? So we're going to talk about that entity tonight, and we got some other things we're going to talk about too. We're going to get involved with, but that's my topic. And then the next topic we're going to talk about is the Masonic apron and where did it really come from. We're going to talk about that. I think my brother Freemason Unlock, if he comes on tonight, we can kind of indulge in that a little bit. Good, hey, brother Vincent, how you doing there, bro? So we really gonna get down tonight, man. I'm kind of excited about it because there's a lot of information floating around out and about the General Grand Masonic Congress and what it is and what it's not, what it is and what it is not. So I'm going to help to define it and what it was meant to be. Okay, and I have documentations to back up what I'm saying. So I'm not going to give you some false information. I'm actually going to have you to go search this information out for yourself. So like I said, tonight we're going to talk about the General Grand Masonic Congress, or Congress of Grand Lodges. And if you are a member of the Black and Free and Accepted Masons, this, or even Prince Hall or Mainstream, they have their own Masonic Congress, or what they may call the Council of Grand Lodges, or the I can't think of what Mainstream called. They have their own name for it. Well, anyway, this entity has been around for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you just how long this entity has been around. I have a McCoy's Masonic Encyclopedia, and I should have been more prepared, but hold on just a second. Now I don't even know why. I don't even know where I put the book. Oh man. Isn't that a shame? Just a second, gentlemen. Just a second. Just a second. Just a second. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But check it out. So here's another good book you should get. This is a heck of a book. This is a good read. This is The Templar and the Lodge. This is a very good book to read. If you don't already have it, this is a good book to read. And for the brothers who were sharing with me the other books on Sunday, I certainly appreciate it, man, for getting that light to me. So we're going to go and we're going to take a look at Peace and greetings. Freemasonry Unlocked, bro. I'm sorry that we couldn't get on tonight. Well, we're going to take a look at some information here. It's going to be concerning the Masonic Congresses, as we like to call it. And I'm going to tell you this. The Masonic Congresses is not a Masonic institution. Listen to me closely. The General Grand Masonic Congress, the Council of Grand Masters, the Council of Grand Lodges, whatever you want to call that entity for which your Grand Lodge may be part of, that is not a Masonic institution. It is not. It is not a Masonic institution. I've looked it up. I've tried to find it. You can find various times when they've tried to organize them, going all the way back to the early 1800s. It is not a Masonic institution. And the reason it is not a Masonic institution is because there is no entity that can be higher than your Grand Lodge. If there's an entity that is higher than your Grand Lodge, then you are not a Grand Lodge, because a Grand Lodge is sovereign over the lodges for which it's chartered. Only a Grand Lodge can issue a charter. Nobody issues a Grand Lodge a charter. So if you ever come to me telling me that your General Grand Masonic Congress or your Council of Grand Lodges issued your Grand Lodge a charter, brother, that means that they can pull the charter anytime they want to. You're simply telling me that your Grand Master has no authority over your Grand Lodge, because the entity that gave the charter can pull the charter. And the entity of a General Grand Masonic Congress or a Council of Grand Lodges or Council of Grand Masters, that entity only survived because of the Grand Lodges that makes that entity. Okay? And you got to look at it. The person that's over the various General Grand Masonic Congresses or Grand Lodges, that person is called a president. President General, President this. They're not called Grand Master. And the reason they're not called Grand Masters is because they can't be Grand Master over Grand Lodges. They can be a president, but they can't be a Grand Master. And a lot of people get that confused because, oh, my General Grand Masonic Congress this or that. No, your General Grand Masonic Congress do not run your Grand Lodge. If your General Grand Masonic Congress runs your Grand Lodge, then your Grand Master is a wimp. I want to say something else, but he's a wimp. You know, period. So I'm just trying to get this out to you, because a lot of brothers believe because their Grand Lodge is part of a General Grand Masonic Congress, they're supposed to be all that. No, your Grand Lodge is supposed to be all that. If you're going to raise up anything, if you're going to build anything, build your Grand Lodge, build your lodge. It's simple. That's not even complicated. I don't care what General Grand Masonic Congress you're part of, or Master Council, or Master Grand Lodge, whatever you want to call that entity. I don't care, because it has no bearings over your Grand Lodge. The Grand Lodges makes that entity. Those Grand Lodges are supposed to sign a recognition agreement. And then those Grand Lodges that makes up those various councils are supposed to agree upon what's going to unite them. Are they all using the same ritual? Are they all doing things accordingly to their own standards? What are their standards? And they make up the General Grand Masonic Congress. Like I said before, if a General Grand Masonic Congress or a Council of Grand Lodges issues a Grand Lodge a charter, that Grand Master has no say-so over that Grand Lodge, because he's given up his sovereignty. He's just a puppet. That's it. No question about it. You cannot find nowhere Masonically where the General Grand Masonic Congress overrules a Grand Lodge. Nowhere. Nowhere. They don't issue dues cards. You shouldn't be paying any dues to a General Grand Masonic Congress, because your Grand Lodge, I'm quite sure, pay a fee to be part of that General Grand Masonic Congress or Council of Grand Lodges, whatever you want to call it. I pay a fee. If they're paying a fee, why should you pay a fee as an individual? I'm just throwing it all out there because a lot of people believe that a General Grand Masonic Congress or a Council of Grand Masters, Council of Grand Lodges, they believe that they run everything. They don't. Your state is starving. Your Grand Master runs your state. Your Grand Master has the last say so. If your Grand Master says he no longer wants to be a part of that General Grand Masonic Congress or that Council of Grand Lodges, whatever you want to call it, he can pull his recognition and say, I'm done. And he's still a Grand Master. They're still recognized. He's just done with them. Now, the Council of Grand Lodges or Congress of Grand Lodges or General Grand Masonic Congress, whatever you want to call it, they could pull recognition too. They could say, you know what, brother, we no longer want to recognize you. But be careful when you do that. Because if you do that, you better have a good reason, because that Grand Lodge can come back and sue you because they're paying monetary to be a part of this body that makes up the council, and you're telling them you're pulling recognition when they're paying money. Now, see, well, if money wasn't involved, it would be very easy to do. But when you have money involved and you're talking about pulling recognition from a Grand Lodge that is part of a council, man, they'll take you to court. You know what they're going to say? We paid these dollars to this entity, and they're saying that we're no longer part of them because of this, that, and this. No, sir. You have to have probable cause to pull recognition from a Grand Lodge that is part of a General Grand Masonic Congress or part of a Council of Grand Lodges or any of those entities. You just can't pull recognition from that entity like that. However, a Grand Master can. He doesn't have to pay any dues. He can just forget it. It wouldn't send no money in. And that'll be it. And they can't sue. They can't have, they know. See, I'm going to tell you, brothers, when you have your Constitution and bylaws before you, and I say it all the time, get in them, read them, and then nobody can come back and bullshit you about stuff. Because a lot of people like to do a lot of talking, but they can't back it up. Well, you remember when? I want you to show it to me in writing, and then I remember. Okay? Now, I'm going back to this. So I have my McCoy's Masonic Encyclopedia. I love it. I love it. It's a 1961 version, and it talks about the various congresses. Now, the congresses themselves, they started, like I said, in the early 1800s. And let's see. I'm gonna kick this off to you real quick. I know I had it. I just had it. General Grand Lodges. General Grand Chapter, General Grand Lodges for the United States. Okay, so check this out. There was an entity called the General Grand Lodges for the United States. It was formed in 1859. You probably never heard of it, but it was actually where Grand Lodges came together. This is in 1859. It says the General Grand Lodges for the United States. This is on page 271. 271 out of the McCoy's Masonic Encyclopedia. This is a 1961. Okay, this is not a revised version. This is the original copy. And they even tell you in 1859, this is probably one of the first ones that came about. It was called the General Grand Lodges of the United States. And this was organized by the Caucasian Masons. Trust and believe that. And then it goes on to tell you that they began, check it out, they began to warrant lodges. You listen to me? They began to warrant lodges. But you go figure, Isn't that the same thing the National Grand Lodge did? The National Compact of Grand Lodges did? That's the same thing they did in 1847. And we're talking about 1859. Go figure that. And then it goes on to say, now, let's see, we got that. We got the General Grand Lodges for the United States. I'm going to find another one in here for you. They did, okay, so they did a, let me see, it says Grand Masters Union. They had a Grand Master Union, and that was formed Okay, so they said a Grand Master Union, and that was formed in 1868. Okay, the Grand Masters Union. Grand Masters coming together, and they called it a Grand Master Union. That was formed in 1868. So there's two of them, right? Now, let me see if I can find some more. There's some more in here. I know. But I'm gonna continue to look as I go into exactly what I'm going to find here. But I do want you to know, as I was saying, for those of you who are listening, your General Grand Masonic Congress brothers and sisters, they also go for you too. As far as your Supreme Council, your Supreme Grand Chapter, no, they have no bearing over your state. So please stop it, all right? I'm just saying, just hold your horses. I'm going to come back to some other stuff later. Now, I'm going to get into this, which I'm going to talk about, move that over there. They will bull hit you if you don't know. Yeah. Dance. Okay. My Grand Lodge is the shit. Okay, well, say that then. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to say it loud. So, now, we're going to talk about this Masonic apron thing. I'm going to say this here. I continue to read, and I continue to come across a lot of good information. And what I've come across is when we talk about masonry being part of the stonemasons, I'm going to disagree with that. Freemasons was never part of stonemasons. I'm going to let that resonate with you for a minute. Freemasons were never part of stonemasons. Oh no. Ask Freemason Unlocked. Freemason Unlocked. You can tune in now, baby. Freemasons were never part of stonemasons. And you're probably saying, what is he talking about? Well, brothers and my sisters who are on here, because I know some of you are Freemason sisters. I know some of you are Freemasons because we, y'all like to inbox people. I'm going to tell you why. You know that apron that you wear? You know when you go to your lodge meetings, you throw the apron on, right? Absolutely, it's part of Allegory. Now, that apron that you wear is an Egyptian apron. Ooh, I think Freemason Unlocked wanted to talk about that tonight too. So when I say that it is an Egyptian custom for Egyptians to wear aprons, look it up for yourself. Stonemasons never wore aprons. Stonemasons, now as we talk today in general, we may say that we are speculative masons that come from stonemasons. And I'm disagreeing with that cold-heartedly. No. So, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that. Because as I began to read and find out more information for myself, and I encourage you to do the same, I'm finding that a lot of information that we've been fed has been incorrect. It's been wrong. For all of my Masonic career, or this thing I've been involved with. Brother Lewis, cool. Brother Past Master Hawkins, I agree. Going to shoot part 4 together, in which we, yes, we're going to have to do part 4 together. So, in all of my Masonic career, and I've been in this thing 32 years now, I've been told, oh yeah, Freemasons come from stonemasons, they worked in the guilds, and they used the level, the plumb, the square, they did the work, and they did the work. No, scratch that. As the brother said before, that's all allegory. That's all allegory. See, the process is that the ritual tells you that, but we don't take it. If you read your ritual, it goes into allegories, it goes into stories. But look where your story is being told. Your story is being told about something that takes place over on the continent of Africa. Okay, it talks about Joppa. Okay, it talks about those who tried to travel outside and they couldn't because they didn't have permission from King Solomon. Look at where all this is taking place, and then you will know that it takes place over on the continent of Africa. Now, it talks. Now, if you really want to get deep into it, and if you take out your vessel, your VSL, and you get deeper into it, and you understand where they was trying to cross the river at, and why such thing happened, then you'll be like, wow, okay, I got this. Now, the sisters who are Eastern Stars, you're part of this whole thing. You remember the story of Jephtha, the judge? When he came back, the first thing he said he would do, he would make the sacrifice because God gave him the victory. He would make the sacrifice of the first whatever came out of his home. And who came out of his home? His daughter. His daughter came out of his home. And he had to make that sacrifice. But she was like, no, you made a promise to God that you would do this. Yes. Yes, Brother Vincent. Boy, you own it tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. Then he was going to make that sacrifice. But what happened? He had her, or she wanted to go off into the mountains and do her thing and come back and whatever. But I'm going to leave that where it's at. That's just a little dab of do you. But I'm just saying, sisters, you are definitely part of this thing. The ideal is you have to get involved and find out where you fit in. And for those who are patrons in your chapters, you have to be willing to teach this to the sisters. Because a lot of this stuff is bad information that you get because we've been passed down through he said, she said. Well, no. Go get you some good books and begin to open it up, bro. I'm telling you, it gets deep. The problem with Grand Lodges suing other Grand Lodges is that the course of action violate the ancient charges since it brings the profane into a Masonic business. Absolutely. This is why in the ancient customs of Freemasonry, you was able to travel in foreign countries and receive wages as such because it had no monetary thing to it. It wasn't until this creation of what we know today of modern Freemasonry, 1776, 1777, whatever you want to pick, that the monetary thing came into it. If you don't believe that, read Scottish Rite Volume 1. It tells you the complete history of what happened. They started selling degrees. They started selling charters. And that's why the money came into being. Before that, there was no money involved. Brothers was traveling. They was initiated, passed, and raised. And they was doing their thing. And as a matter of fact, you wasn't a Master Mason. If you don't get down, you wasn't a Master Mason until you became a Royal Arch Mason. That's the truth. Ruth, go. I'm telling you, you're not a Master Mason until you complete the degree of the Royal Arch Mason. So, for those of you who get all excited, oh yeah, yada yada, no. Get the Royal Arch degree. You'll find out for yourself. So, what I'm trying to say is that in your Masonic rituals, this is why I'm working on my own ritual right now, and it's strictly an African ritual. It deals with ancient customs of Africa. That's my thing. That's what I'm working on. But I'm saying, even in your Masonic rituals today, you pick them up. It tells you the story. And it's all allegory, but it tells you where it's taking place at. And if it's taking place over on the continent of Africa, then you know that there was no what you call stone masons over there, right? You know they worked on pyramids, right? They did some serious architectural work, right? They was builders. You know, they were builders. When they worked in the quarries, they worked and they wore aprons because they was all Egyptians. And if you ever go, and you can look this up for yourself, you see Egyptians wearing apron, not stone masons. There are no stone masons connected to Freemasonry. That's what we've been taught, but that is not the truth. The truth is when you go search for it yourself and you find it, and then you be like, eureka, I've discovered it. I've found it. But a lot of us go by what somebody told us. When he said, well, you know, this is how, no, it's not. No, it was never meant that way. It's just the idea that that's something we've been taught. And I encourage you, whatever you do, brothers, whatever you do, sisters, go read, go find for yourself. If somebody's in your chapter meeting, if somebody's in your lodge meeting, your grand session, they're saying something and doesn't quite sound right, it ain't right. Go find it for yourself, or even ask them where did they get the information from. What book did you read? Because all they have to do is look at the doggone Skippy. Look at the hieroglyphics. It breaks it all down. Also, the purpose of the General Grand Masonic Congress is to establish and maintain amity. There you go, Freemasonry Unlocked. You broke it down right there. I don't have to say nothing else. Read what Freemasonry Unlocked just put up. He breaks it down right there. That's all the General Grand Masonic Congress is needed for. That's it. Now you can take that to the bank and let it alone, because that is a fact. But what we get so caught up in this. My Congress was established in this time and that time and all of that. No, leave your Congress out of it. Build your Grand Lodge up. Your Congress is going to do what it's going to do. And that's for real. But your Grand Lodge, that's where it's at right there. Your Grand Lodge is where it's at. And if you think your Grand Lodge is all of that, my brother, I'm proud of you. Support your lodge, support your Grand Lodge. Sisters, I'm proud of you. Support your Grand Chapter, support and build your chapter up. Because when it's all said and done, it's your state that counts. Your state that counts. Build it up, and don't let nobody come in your state trying to tear it up, telling you what to do, your Grand Master what to do. No. Your Grand Master is sovereign. And that means that if anybody's going to come into your jurisdiction consists of those lodges that works up under your Grand Lodge. Period. Okay? That's your jurisdiction. Let's clear the air on that. Because a lot of Grand Masters say, oh, this is my state. No, it's not your state. It's your jurisdiction. Your jurisdiction is everything that works up under your Grand Lodge. Some lodges work on a Grand Lodge. They're not even in the same state. You know why? Because the Grand Lodge issued a charter to that lodge. Simple. Is there such a thing as the highest free? No. There's no such thing as the highest Freemason. No, it's not. Don't let nobody, no. You can be given that title. You can be saying, hey, he's the highest ranking Freemason in that jurisdiction. He's the highest Freemason ranking over here or over there. But no, there is no such thing as one all Freemason. This guy is the it factor. No, no, don't do it to yourself. Exclusive territories. This is creates a division. It would be much better if the individual adhered to the ancient customs and landmarks and maintain unity thereby. Freemason Unlocked, boy, if I can bring you up on the screen tonight, it will be hot. Absolutely correct. And that is what happens to a... Shut this dog up, boy. I tell you the truth. Lock his butt out. But anyway, still can hear him. But anyway, so that's what we have to do, brothers. We have to really engage ourselves in Freemasonry by finding some books that you can enjoy reading and really get a lot more than what you get from your Grand Lodge. Because what happens is information get passed down, and passed down, and before you know it, you know, it's all over the place. And one more thing. Now, this one, I'm about to tell you, this here, it's going to hurt some feelings. Brothers, John G. Jones, the man, never, ever received a charter from the Grand Lodge of Romania. Hear me. And I'm going to stand by that until I find proof. I don't care what nobody says. I've been looking. I've been doing my own research. I've been talking to various people. and until somebody can show me the paperwork, I'm not going with that no more. Hear me, brothers of the ancient, free, and accepted Masons. John G. Jones never received a charter or charters from the Grand Lodge of Romania. I once believed that. I did. I really did. However, yeah, I took it there. Now, I'm going to say this. What John G. Jones did do, and I even have documentation on it, he did go to Romania. It wasn't that Romania gave or issued John G. Jones a charter. John G. Jones received, or they agreed for mutual recognition amongst the Supreme Councils. The Supreme Council of Romania, the Supreme Council for the Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction in 1904, when John G. Jones was the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, did indeed travel to Romania, and they agreed upon mutual recognition. Boom, there it is, and I got it in documentation. That's it. The 33rd, wait a minute, I'm missing something. The 33rd, vibrant, laughing out loud. Okay, Brother Maddox. Path is said to be the first Master Mason. Yes, that is true. That is true. Brother Terrell, I will absolutely agree with you. Absolutely. He said to be the first. Now, back to what I was saying. John G. Jones, including H.C. Scott, my man H.C. Scott, yes, no, they did not receive a charter from the Grand Lodge of Romania. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, it's truth. I know people are going to use this video and say, see, I told you. However, listen to the whole thing. I did say that the United Supreme Council for the Southern and Western Masonic Jurisdiction, for which John G. Jones was the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander in 1904, did indeed go visit the Supreme Council of Romania. And at that session, they agreed for amenity and recognition with each other. That's a fact. I have documentation. It is truth. It's truth. As a matter of fact, hold on. I got another book. Hold on. Give me. I'm gonna have to look through it. I'm gonna have to find it. But I got it. I got it. It's in here. It's in here. Give me. Ooh wee. I thought I had it underlined or colored or something. Shucks. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna continue to look for the document I'm telling you about. I'm gonna look for it, and I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna post it. So you'll have it for yourself. I don't mind sharing that. And I'm gonna share something else to you. I'm gonna say this here to you. Also, did you know that this is a fact? Did you know that the Grand Lodge of Illinois, mainstream Grand Lodge of Illinois, recognized in 1903 St. John's Grand Lodge of Illinois? Did you know that? That's true too. Man, I should have been more prepared tonight. Wait a minute. No, that's not it. You know what? Probably after the night I close it down, then I'm going to say, oh, there it is. That's what I'm going to say. And it's not, let me see. Nope. I'm going to find it. But anyway, as I was saying, And I'm gonna get. Shucks. Wait a minute. White Mason recognized color Mason. Here it is, right here. Here it is. It's right there. I know you can't see it, brothers, but trust me, it's right there. Okay, this is when John G. Jones went to visit Romania. God dang it. Hello? I'm a mailboat. Can't do no surveys right now. I'm in this thing. I'm a book. I'm sorry. But check it out. So right here, I'm gonna read it to you. It says, ooh, I don't know if you can see it. But anyway, it says White Mason recognized color Masons. The Supreme Council of Colored Scottish Rite 33rd degree in the United States is recognized by the Supreme Council Scottish Rite Masons of Romania. Good news has reached the color Masons in the United States. They are congratulating each other upon these efforts. The White Supreme Council of the Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite Masons of Romania, which body is composed of entirely white Masons, among whom are some of the most learned and scholarly men in that country. Romania is the kingdom in the southeast Europe and has a population of over 6 million people. They have officially recognized the United Supreme Council of the Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite for the Southern and Western Masonic jurisdiction, United States of America, its territories, independence, which is presided over by John G. Jones, 33rd of Chicago, Illinois, who is the Sovereign Grand Commander. Negotiation between these two distinguished bodies of Scottish Rite Masons have been pending for some time, but it was only recently that the works was accomplished. The correspondence was conducted by the illustrious John G. Jones, 33rd of Chicago. They have also extended him the fraternal and cordial invitation to visit their country and attend their next annual session in their Supreme Council, which will be held in 1902. So I want you to think about that. Now, Jones was supposed to have been suspended in 1903 from the Grand Lodge of Illinois, but he's the most puissant sovereign grand commander of a whole nother body of Freemasons, and he goes over to Romania and gives recognition for his Scottish Rite body. Somebody explain that to me. You cannot be in two jurisdictions as a Mason. However, unless it is agreed upon that you can have dual membership. I'm just saying. What's the date of the sources? 1902 is the date of the sources. That was in the Washington Bee. The Washington Bee is the date of the sources, 1902. Okay. Let's see. There you have it. So I'm just saying, you know, what I try to do, I want to make sure I get information out there that's going to be tangible for you. And when you have it, you can have it for yourself and share it. Don't just hold your knowledge. Don't just hold it, because when you're dead and gone, you can't do nothing with it. Give it away. Build somebody else up. Oh yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Man, if I can find this other one that I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else too. I'm going to share it with you. Let me see. Check this one out. Check this one out. This is from the, if you can see it. Okay. You see I got an arrow pointing here? I'm going to read something else to you. Okay? See this? I'm going to read something else to you. No, Prince Hall official story is not true. And I can prove, give me just a minute. So, let's see. They took out a charter from the Supreme Body, which is okay. So check this out. Now, this is in 1904. Now, this is going to really shock you. This is in 1904, and this is from this is Chicago, March 12, 1904. Okay, and it says White Masons with John G. Jones, 33rd. John G. Jones, 33rd of Chicago, and the Sovereign Grand Commander of the United Supreme Council, the Ancient and Scepter Scottish Rite, Freemason, 33rd of the United States of America in jurisdiction. And he's also the Imperial Potentate of the Imperial Council of the Mystic Shrine of the North and South America. Received last week the report that Deputy W.H. Nelson, 33rd of 33rd, and it says that it was held in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that the solemn consistory of the Ancient and Scepter Scottish Rite in Mecca Temple of the Mystic Shrine, in this consistory and temple, composed entirely of white Masons and the best citizens of Cambridge, Massachusetts, okay, who are predominantly white, received a charter from the Supreme Council, for which Jones is the most puissant sovereign grand commander. They recognized him to be the only legitimate head and authority in the United States for the ancient Arabic order nobles of the Mystic Shrine. Boom! Them boys was like, Jones is the it factor. That's where we going. That's the end of that story. Now, you can look this up for yourself. Like I said, this is it right here. If you can see that. I don't know. I'm going to see if I can get a little closer. There you go. Okay. And that was in 1904. So, I'm just saying, it's a lot of information out there. And what we need to do is get the correct information and share it with everybody. And then, you know what? We'll kill all that other stuff. We'll kill it dead. So, this is why it's so important for those of us who have the knowledge, for those of us who have books. Share your books. Tell people what books you got, and they can go get it for themselves. They can read it for themselves. Okay. Now, Anthony, that's going to be kind of crazy to do, but I'm not saying that it's not impossible. But that's going to take some work. Now, the question is, am I ready to do that type of work? You know? Yes, it is. Beefing over some crazy stuff for over 100 years is played out. This is what's most important, brothers, is that each of us who are Masons, be it Modern Free, International, Prince Hall, whatever, if you call yourself a Mason, the best thing you can do for the next Mason is help him to stand. Keep him standing, help him up. Remember that brother in your prayers. Remember to whisper good counsel to that brother. Remember to be a brother to him and not an enemy to him. That's the best thing you can do for another Mason. Don't cut him down. If you find that he's foul, hey, step back. Hey, bro, I can't do that. Let him be. Let him be. Don't cut him down. Lift him up. Yes, the modern and the ancient settled their dispute. They did. Yeah, they did. They did. And it's not like we can't settle our dispute. The ideal is what leaders in these various Masonic jurisdictions are willing to do that. What leaders in the ancient free and accepted Masons, the modern free and accepted Masons, the international Masons, the Prince Hall Masons, what leader is ready to come to the table, sit down and talk and work this thing out? Because it's workable. Everything is workable, bruh. We ain't gonna always get what we want, but we can damn sure agree to disagree and say this will work. This part here will work. That part, no, it ain't gonna work. Okay, well, let's see what else will happen. We can do that. The ideal is what leader wants to do it. If you can't find a leader that's willing to come to the table and sit down and kind of work things out for the betterment of the organization as a whole, then you're forever going to be jacked up. Hello? I just should cut my phone off. That's what I just should cut it off. But anyway, the wife may be calling. So, I'm just saying. By the way, this is not a beer. This is ginger ale. Okay? Just in case somebody said, this brother drinking a beer tonight. No. Anyway. So. Now. I'm going to share something else with you. Oh, it gets good. It gets to be real good. So, Brother John G. Jones, see, this is the issue that, see, Brother Jones, in my opinion, from my own study of Jones, he was a visionary. Brother Jones believed that the Supreme Council could issue charters to Grand Lodges. He did. He believed that. John G. Jones believed that Supreme Councils, United Supreme Councils, could issue charters to lodges or Grand Lodges. Think about that. And I'm going to tell you why he believed that. The reason, this is my own opinion for what I've studied and I know in regards to Jones. The reason Jones believed that the United Supreme Council could issue charters to Grand Lodges is because they was practicing one set of rules. Ancient accepted Scottish rites. 1 to 33. Had nothing to do with York Rite. I'm talking 1 to 33, bruh. That's why most of us today, for those of us who don't know, but we've been told, oh, you're Scottish Rite. You're ancient, free, and accepted. You're Scottish Rite. No. That was the thought. That was the thought pattern. So what you had was Jones, who was the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, right? He believed that the United Supreme Council had the authority to issue charters, right? And I'm going to kill his dog. He's barking. Not literally kill a dog in case somebody want to call the dog protective people. But, but what he did is that that was his belief, that he believed that the Supreme Council could issue charters. So, because they was practicing Scottish Rite Freemasonry. So what happened was, as time progressed, what did we say? When you see another brother who's ancient, free, and accepted, oh, you Scottish Rite. That's what you say. That's what I used to say, but that's not true. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So now that I have an understanding, I'm like, wow, that's pretty deep. You know, that is pretty deep. And let me see, Corey, CD, Dorsey, boy, you something else. I'm gonna tell you something. We're gonna have a conversation. I thought it was about self-development. Who I see in the mirror is the recognition I need. I would agree with that. Who I see in the mirror is the only somebody I need that recognition from. Everybody else can kick rocks, and that's truth. But there's no love like the brotherly love. So, as we continue this thing in what we call Freemasonry, sisters and brothers, and I say sisters, a lot of people say, you know, why do you include the sisters when you do your videos? Why do you? They should be included. They really should be included, because it's like this. And I'm going to tell you this here. If you ever see the 5-pointed star of an Eastern Star, look at the center and tell me what you see. I'm not going to tell you what I see. I know what it is. But I want you to consider what it is. And you'll know why you should be able to talk with your sisters of the order. Now, the Sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star is only known here in the United States. Now, there may be a few outside of the United States, but that's it. Sisters, you're not going to be able to travel in foreign countries. No, it's not for you. It's only here in this country, the United States. That's it. This is why a lot of sisters overseas are Freemasons. Because they can do that. They can go outside of their country. But here in the United States, this is as far as you're going to go, sister. This is it. Let me see what else. Oh, they talking about they may be related. But anyway, so you know what? I'm gonna get ready to cut out short tonight. I hope that you was able to get something from this. And just to let you know, once again, I'm just gonna recap a little bit. The General Grand Masonic Congresses or the Council of Grand Masters do not rule your state. Your Grand Master runs your state. You elected him to run your state. That's it. Okay? Now, if your Grand Master is allowing another entity to run his state, I don't know what to say. That's on them. Oh, okay. Freemason Unlocked. He believed that because the Scottish Rite originated with the concept in mind, which is why Scottish Rite has its own style and ritual for the first 3 degrees. Freemason Unlocked, boy, I tell you, you're absolutely right. And let me tell you, when I first saw that happen, the 1st and 3rd degree Scottish Rite, hear me clearly. Those of you who are watching, you hear me clearly. There is a ritual for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd degree Scottish Rite. And when I saw that happen, when I saw it, I saw the opening. I was at a lodge meeting with some brothers, and they was doing it. I was like, yeah, it was nice. I ain't gonna lie, it was nice. Great works. Great works. Oh, they talking about family. See, C.D. Dorsey, why y'all talking about your family on my own? Come on, bro. Y'all call each other afterwards. But it's nothing but love. But Freemason Unlocked, you're absolutely correct, bro. Absolutely correct. And that's the thing we have to realize. That's what we really gotta indulge ourselves in this thing to straighten out a lot of brothers being miseducated about Jones, what he stood for, the whole thing. Bro, let me tell you, I'll tell you this here. John G. Jones was a hell of a man. Let me tell you why. Because of the work that he put in. This guy was a lawyer who never went to college. John G. Jones practiced law in 2 states and he never went to college and he passed the bar. What do you think about that during that time in life? And not only that, he was a Republican. He was founded. He was one of the founders of the the Lincoln Party. There was a party called the Lincoln Party. He was one of the founders. And not only that, John G. Jones ran for Vice President of the United States of America. You can look it up. He was the first black man to run for Vice President of the United States. Believe that. You can look that up. It's out there, bro. You can look that up. It's history. But a lot, you know, they try to muddy his name and say all these crazy things about him. You know, he was arrested and thrown in jail. He robbed people. The man was rich. I mean, presidents. The man would dine with presidents. Okay? He was on the cabinet of the president. So when people talk about Jones and him being expelled and all that stuff, man, that's nothing compared to the life. That's nothing compared to the work he did for his people. They'll tell you, if you read his history, if you can go into the library, Congress library, and read his history, man, John G. Jones was nothing to play with. The man fought for his people. Yeah, you're right. That's a fact. He fought for his people, you know. And most of us, including myself, would never be able to do half the work the man did. He was an awesome guy. But I tell you this here, after 1914, ooh, all hell broke loose. Look, after John G. Jones passed away in 1914, with the ancient, free, and accepted Masons, as we know it today, all hell broke loose. It was feast of famine, brother. It was feast of famine. There's no doubt about it. None. It's just that simple. And this is why we have multiple General Grand Masonic Congresses, multiple United Supreme Councils, all using the same name. Because one of the members that was on the board at the time of Jones' death did his own thing. Ta-da. Simple as that. They did. I ain't mad. I mean, it's just what happened. That's just what happened, you know. After Jones' death, they was like, oh, he's gone. So what we gonna do now? Oh, we gonna tear it up. As beautiful as it was, from 1869, yeah, from 1895, all the way up until 1914, it was a beautiful thing. But after his death, whoo, calls for a drink on that one. It was on. So, there you have it. I hope I was able to once again share some knowledge with you, give you something. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at joselodge@yahoo.com. Subject matter, Freemasonry. I don't like just opening up stuff. And please, man, I mean, if you hating on me like that, you want to send me something that's going to mess my computer up, don't do that. That's not nice. What was his name that... Okay. All right. One bad apple. Still here. Okay. What was his name that did his own thing? The only ship that won't sink, fellowship. I like that. The only ship that won't sink is fellowship. I like that one. That's true. There's multiple. Hold on. I'm going to tell you. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you who did their own thing in just a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold up. Hey-oh. I got it right here, gentlemen. Okay, so somebody asked me who did their own thing. I'm going to call these names out. They followed in the footsteps of John G. Jones. These are the ones I would say did their own thing. Okay? Hold on. Okay. 1120 sound. What's my opinion about joining International Freemason? I don't have an opinion because I don't know their history that well. So if I don't, so I won't do that to you, because I don't know. I've been told some things, but I haven't read for myself, so I'm not going to do that. All right. I know some brothers from International. They're cool with me. We talk, we fellowship, we hang out, but I don't know their history well enough to say anything about them bad. I don't know. I won't do that. All right, so check it out. So after Jones' death, B.H. Steelyard, okay, he was the Lieutenant Sovereign Grand Commander when Jones died, okay. When Steelyard became the most puissant Sovereign Grand Commander, the next person came in line was T.H. Broadus. Now, here's the thing: T.H. Broadus and C.L. Mitchell had a dispute. Okay? Hear me clearly. Okay? After Steelyard passed away, he only served for 2 years. After his death, T.H. Broadus and Brother C.L. Mitchell, they had a dispute. Okay? That was your first split. And that was in 1926. That's 1926, bro. They did that thing in 1926. And then G.C. Williams came on the play. Now, G.C. Williams, that brother was smart. He went and re-upped the paperwork on John G. Jones. All right, he went and redid the paperwork on John G. Jones, and he had the paperwork. So, because they forgot, doing all the disputes and bickering they was doing, they forgot the paperwork, bruh. C.L. Mitchell got smart and went and got the paperwork. And in order for them to solidify who he was, they made him the most puissant Sovereign Grand Commander because he had the documents. Then you had three Southern and Western Masonic jurisdiction. One belonging to Broadus, one belonging to C.L. Mitchell, and after C.L. Mitchell passed away, G.C. Scott was the man on the scene. You know? So after that, then you get J.C. Parker. You know? J.C. Parker come on the scene. He came on the scene from 1936 to 1942. And there was a dispute. There was a split. Because J.C. Parker was over Detroit. He was the most puissant Sovereign Grand Commander. They said Detroit was so huge at one time, he split it up and made 4 Grand Lodges in Detroit. So he can remain the most puissant Sovereign Grand Commander. I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be out in a minute.
I was just coming to say hi. I just got back from the funeral.
Take him with you.
Who?
Him. Right
Why?
there. Because he's been on my nerves. Been barking all day.
Leave my baby alone.
Don't go nowhere. I'll be out in a minute. So.
Oh, okay. Come on,
That's that whole thing right there. And these are the individuals that began to do their own thing. I'm going to name them for you. After the death of B.H. Steelyard, T.H. Broadus, C.L. Mitchell, G.C. Williams, and J.C. Parker. There you go right there, bruh. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 most puissant Sovereign Grand Commanders, and they did their own thing. He had the first black radio TV station in Detroit. Oh, really? Oh, Banks? Yeah, Banks was a smart guy. I've heard some stories about that too. You know, the whole thing, how it was all structured, but the brother was smart. The brother was smart. Now, I don't know how the organization is structured, but Banks was a smart brother. 4 horsemen. Yeah, you can say that. I never thought about saying that. But yeah, you can call them the 4 horsemen. So when you think about T.H. Broadus, C.L. Mitchell, G.C. Williams, and J.C. Parker, you can say the 4 horsemen. Yeah, because they did their own thing. And if your tree, your lineage, your history, your Supreme Council can go back to them guys, they sit at the table with Jones. So there you go. That's it right there. Now, what else? Well, I can't bring this back up, gentlemen. Okay, there you go. This is Brother Blue, Tony Muhammad. Oh, what's up, L.A.? Sons of David, number, okay. 599, how would you be handling a Mason who does not have a seal on their Masonic dues card? Well, what else is on his card? I mean, if he has this, how would I handle a Mason that doesn't have a seal on his dues card? Well, first of all, what I know is that all Grand Lodges don't necessarily seal their cards, but they may have the Grand Master's name on there or the second. Yes. Yes. They may have the name of the Grand Secretary or somebody on there where you can contact them to find out if this brother's really a part of their Grand Lodge. That's the best way to do it. I mean, if you're gonna get into it, get into it. That's what I would do. So, look, I hope everybody was able to get something out. Please hit the subscribe button. Pass the information on, bruh. You know, what I try to do is anything I got, I want to share it. I want to get it out and have at it. I'm telling you. I'm from Detroit, and there's a lot of old lots here, a whole lot of eastern stars. Stay out them bushes. You doggone skip it, brother. Stay out them bushes. I was just in Detroit about 3 weeks ago. Had a great time. Whew. Stayed at the casino. Motor City Casino. I sure did. But anyway, hey, everybody have a good evening. As always, stay out them bushes. Keep that light on, and we're going to get back at this. We're going to definitely get back at this. So, peace. If I can, there you go.